We are back. Welcome to Strength Coach TV. I'm Anthony Renna. This is the show where we go into some of the best facilities, big, small, and in between, and we take a tour and we sit down with some of the best minds in the industry to talk some shop. This is my third iteration of the show, and basically it's because I have a little bit more free time right now, and I've gotten so many people that have come up to me and said, hey man, when you doing that show again? We absolutely loved it. We watched them all before we opened our facility, and you'll see some of that in some of the upcoming episodes. Some of the people that we filmed actually watched a lot of the shows before they opened up. So we're gonna keep this thing going. I shot 19 over last month, but I have New Jersey, I have Philly, I have Nashville coming up this summer. We got a lot of stuff going on. These are long, we go deep. We start out with just talking about the basics, square footage and what kind of a gym they are, the types of memberships, and then we take a tour. So with that tour, we're gonna get some of their philosophy on program design, just basically by looking at the facility, but we're gonna ask them about some facility design questions as we go through as well, and some of the challenges they had there. Then we're gonna sit down and we're gonna talk business. We're gonna talk any challenges they had, the wins they had, maybe some things that they would have done over, and we're just basically going to dive into the nuts and bolts of owning a facility. So let's talk about today's episode. Today we're going up to Hamden, Connecticut to Tuff Girl, Christa Vancini Doran, and Christa is a true success story. She started out in a park training a few people, and that got really big, and she got a facility and she expanded and she expanded again. Her husband ended up quitting his job, and they're just killing it right now. She is doing such great things. She has a clothing line now, but she is a great story that I wanted to bring to you, partially because we want to restart this thing up with a woman. I haven't filmed any women in their own facility, women who started from scratch like Christa did. Now we're going to see some other women who started with their husbands, Lauren Pack, Amanda Perry, Lindsay Bergeron, and certainly behind all of these other facilities there's women behind the scenes. But this is somebody, a trainer. Christa was a trainer who started from scratch, and it's really the first time that we've had a woman completely, solely just doing the show. So I really was excited about getting her on to do this. She's empowering women every day in her business, so hopefully we can empower some women with this show to maybe be inspired by the show and think about opening their own facility. So let's head up to Hamden, Connecticut and Tuff Girl. Hey everybody, welcome to Strength Coach TV. I'm Anthony Renna. I am here in Hamden, Connecticut at Tuff Girl.
Yeah.
I'm here with the owner, the founder, head Tuff Girl.
That's it.
Christa Vancini Doran. The Doran's hard for me. I want to say Duran. I'm sorry.
I know, most people do. Duran.
Christa, let's go over the details of the facility first. You could take this. What is the square footage here?
So right now we're at about 6,000, just shy of 6,000.
Okay.
We started at 2,400 when we opened about 6.5 years ago, and then we've had 2 expansions since.
Obviously, in this, so you just like got the walls were knocked down.
Yeah, we just went both ways. We went this way and we went this way.
Okay.
And
cool.
We actually took over the space next to us when that opened up, allowing us to start another program, a powerlifting barbell program, and they have about 1,400, 1,200 square feet over there.
Very cool.
So we started with 24, and now we're at about, just shy of 6,000.
Wow. And talk to me about staff. Like, right, obviously you started out. We're going to talk about that after the tour.
Yeah.
But what kind of staff do you have now?
So we have a team of 10 right now. It's myself and my husband that are the owners, and we are full-time coaches as well currently, which is another challenge.
Yeah.
We also have 2 salaried coaches, one that helps him run FMA Performance, and then Karen, who's been with me since I opened 6 years ago, she's a full-time salaried coach. I have one gym manager who does sort of the client stuff that I don't want to do anymore and don't have time to do.
Yeah.
I have a support team who handles emails and client emails and membership questions.
They're here, or they like. Is that a service?
They're remote. Yeah,
awesome. Virtual. Okay,
they work from their house.
Okay.
And they come to team meetings because.
Oh, okay. So it's not like somebody you hired off the internet.
No.
Okay,
She's
cool.
a former client actually.
Oh,
not
awesome.
a former client, a current client.
Yeah.
Who now does that as well. And then we have. So how many is that? So we have like 5 part-time coaches who are hourly and who are on the floor, coaching. That's their gig.
All right, I see a class going on here,
Yeah.
but what kind of membership we got going on? Is it one-on-one? Is it just classes? Is it semi-private? How's the structure here?
So when I started, we were just classes. That's my heart and soul. That's where my heart and soul is.
Yeah.
But as your business grows, you change with it and you evolve with it. And so right now, the majority of our revenue comes from group classes.
Group classes. Okay.
15 or more, working out together, doing awesome things. And then we do have custom program design, and we do have one-on-one private coaching.
Okay.
And that's done with one person, and that's not a huge percentage of our business, but it is, one of the things that we offer. Yeah, absolutely.
I think everybody went in one direction at one point.
Right.
The pendulum went one way.
Right.
Like, you can't train one-on-one. You're wasting your time. If you charge enough money, you can do anything.
Absolutely. And if they have time for it, and there's a need for it, obviously, because he's busy. So.
Absolutely. What about the group membership? It's just like they can come in and just go to group classes? There's a membership like that?
Yeah, so when I started, it was class passes. It was punch cards, as they call them. And then our membership sort of evolved, and our training evolved. When I started, I was in a park 8 years ago. It was body weight, it was jump rope, it was bands, it was things I could transport, so people could come and go. Now, we're a strength and conditioning facility. We take it very seriously, and they're learning, deadlifts, and they're, push-ups, and they're doing presses, and that takes consistency. And so when we changed to more of a serious strength and conditioning facility, what we realized was the class pass punch cards, they don't work for our model anymore. Yeah. So we had to evolve with that change. And so now we offer monthly memberships. They don't have to commit to a contract, but they will get discounted pricing if they do sign a 6-month contract.
Yeah.
And then we have an 8, a 12, a 16, a 20, and then we also have a family, like a plan they can share.
Okay.
We do have drop-in classes because we love when people come back and visit us. We love when people bring their family who's visiting in.
Yeah.
So we do have like a drop-in class. And actually, because there was so much pushback when I switched from the class pass to the monthly plan model, joy of being an owner, we do have something called a 10-class block. But those classes expire in 60 days because I want people in here.
Of course, yeah, that's awesome.
I'm not helping them if they're not consistent and they're not doing anything good for themselves.
Agreed. What about the makeup? I mean, you are Tough Girl Strong. Look at this logo with the little skirt on it. That's so cool. But I see some boys back here.
Yeah.
And, working with golfers, I was called 5-iron fitness.
Right.
I didn't have basketball players coming to me, but we did have other people once in a while, especially with referrals. What's the makeup here, male, female?
So we are 90% women. It is where my heart lies. It is my mission in this life is to empower women. But as we grew, so many women wanted to share this with their brothers, their husbands, their boyfriends. And I was like, am I stupid to discount 50% of the population can't train here? Yeah. So we said, all right, we'll throw some group classes that are co-ed on the schedule. We'll see how they do.
Yeah.
Well, the guys loved it.
Yeah.
And so we're still 90% women, but we do have some co-ed classes. And I love our male population. Like, they are female supporters. They are not your typical, I hate to use the word meathead, but like that guy in the gym that's like, what are you doing over here, girl? Like, shouldn't you be on the treadmill? Right, exactly. Yeah. They are okay with women sometimes outlifting them.
Yeah.
And I love that. And I love coaching men. I never thought I would because I never had before.
Yeah,
It's our male population is just, they're spot on, and I really enjoy them. Awesome. So we call them the tough guys.
All right. Oh, there you go. All right, well, let's go. We're going to get a tour of the facility. We'll go around, then we'll sit down and chat. We'll talk some business and see some of the challenges that you've had working with some of these chicks.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right.
All right, welcome to Tough Girl. When clients come in this awesome door, for an amazing hour. They will check in here on our iPad. So we use MindBody, and this has been super helpful to keep track of people, make sure that they are not showing up without paying, and just keeps it really easy. The coaches don't have to be involved in this process. So they'll check in on the iPad, and then they'll go one of two ways. They'll either head into our group, our Tuff Girl group, Tuff Guy group, because we do train men as well, which we'll talk about, or they'll head over here to FMA Performance, which is another program, which we'll talk about in a little bit.
Cool. With this, so, you know, what challenges do you have with that in terms of somebody not checking in? Because we know how people are. They'll be late and they'll run over there, etc. Is that a big deal? Because you don't keep somebody there as like a front desk person.
We don't. No, that's not part of our model. The coaches will check the app on their phone to make sure everyone's checked in. We know our members by name, so they'll check them on their app to make sure that they're here. But I'm sure there's been people who have just run in, not signed up, and if the coach doesn't catch them, that's a rarity. We have a pretty trusting membership base here. But it does happen, and we try to remind them, but also we have that app that we can just look at. MindBody has been really, really good to say like, oh, we have our app, they have their app, we have this sign-in app. So 3 apps.
Cool. Now, we're looking at Tuff Girl here. What was the original? You said this was how many square feet?
It was 2,300, 2,400. It started where you are at this wall, and then it went to this pole right here with the climbing ropes and the cargo nets hanging. That was where this wall was, and we actually used to have mirrors. And I got rid of the mirrors purposely because when you're staring at yourself, especially as a woman, you are critiquing, you are cutting, you are breaking yourself down, and that is the opposite of what I'm trying to accomplish here. I want to build women up, empower them. Even for myself, I didn't think it would make such a big difference, but me not looking at myself in the mirror all day long, critiquing like, oh, I gotta do this and I gotta lean out, it's been so empowering. So we took down the mirrors, to make room for battle rope hooks and really trying to utilize every square foot. I mean, we could use 10,000 square feet, but it's just not in the plan right now. So really trying to lay it out in a way that makes sense, that doesn't look cluttered. It's a challenge, and we probably could do better, but we're doing the best with what we have.
We all deal with the same problems.
Yeah.
Now, originally when you had this space, what was in this little space here? Or what was the first equipment? Was this turf down?
Turf was not here. We had no turf. We would push sleds outside in the nice weather, and then in the winter we were just out of luck. We had to replace it with something else. So we had no turf. We had dumbbell rack that was over against this wall right here. We didn't have all the barbells. We didn't have the rigs. We had an old TRX A-frame. Remember those?
Oh yeah.
The big A-frame, and that was right here. Okay. And that's what we used for pull-ups, and that's what we used for our TRX, and that's what we used for battle ropes. We would wrap it around the leg, and as we grew and had more revenue, we kept adding to our equipment. When I opened, I had nothing. I had resistance bands, jump ropes, and a handful of weights because I didn't have the money to do it. And I think that's one of the points I want to make today is that it's not the equipment you have, it's the experience you provide to your customer. And I'm proof of that because I was successful when I had no gym and no equipment, and I'm successful today with $100,000 worth of equipment.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about this equipment. Let's take a walk over here because this isn't the traditional squat rack. So
no.
When did you decide that you wanted to kind of get into some of this stuff?
So this is actually it's a rogue rig that you can use for other things, but it's monkey bars. So when we started to, we do some obstacle course training, you'll notice the cargo nets and the climbing rope.
Oh yeah, cool.
Community is a huge part of who we are here, and we do a lot of these Spartan races and warrior dashes together. And so we wanted a tool to be able to train our clients, to empower them with the skills to then go out and do these races. And so we started this power playground, we call it, and it's adult size obstacle course. So we bought this, but we use it for TRX. We use it for pal-off holds. We don't do any barbell-based lifts in our group program. We're training general population people. We goblet squat them. We kettlebell squat, kettlebell deadlift. So we're floor pressing. We're not back squatting. We're not barbell deadlifting, and we're not bench pressing over here. So we don't actually use that for this purpose, but it does offer it's a great tool to do other fun things.
Cool. Do you set it up like an obstacle?
Yeah, we do.
Here?
Oh yeah.
Wow. that's awesome.
Yep, we have balance beams, and we have, there's all sorts of other fun equipment that we have stashed in the back. But yeah, it's a fun hour.
Cool. Let's just take a little walk around here, and then we'll go into. We're looking at all of this stuff. Was storage, as you were growing, was that like a major problem?
It's a nightmare. And when we go into the very back room, that used to all be storage, and we cut our storage more than half when we turned that into like an area for the coaches and a little shop. Because that's a revenue stream for us.
Yeah.
And so now we got rid of some stuff that we didn't need, but also it's like there's stuff everywhere. It drives me nuts because I'm a very organized person, but you do the best. You try to make it work.
Yeah.
And so there's stuff. There's stuff in every corner. I mean, if you pick around this corner, there's something. If you pick around that corner, there's something.
It's cool. Yeah, there's stuff everywhere here. This is awesome. Cool. Let's go check out. What is it? What's the other place called?
So FMA Performance is a program that Mike, my husband, and business partner started when he joined me. So Tuff Girl is 8 years old. We started in a park. We opened here 6 years ago, and he started FMA Performance, which is a barbell-based, semi-private strength program. Okay. So they do the big 3 lifts over there. Most people are on a customized program. We work around injuries over there. Yep. And they're for people who they want to get strong. They want to get stronger. They want the strength train. So that's FMA Performance, and that is in this room right here. Oh. There's Amanda. She's kicking ass. She's one of our coaches. Nice. So this is FMA.
Very cool.
Give a wave, Amanda.
Nice. We'll talk a little bit about that coming up when we sit down about just marketing 2 places in the same location.
Yeah.
And then I guess when you and your husband get into a fight, he goes into his room, you go into yours.
We have learned through the years that it's better to keep everything separate here. Yeah. I'm the boss here, and he's the boss over there.
Do we have showers in these bathrooms?
We don't have showers. That was a decision we consciously made. We'll have 45 people in here at 5:30 in the morning. We'll have 30 over here. We'll have 15 over there. To have people clamoring we only had room for 1 or 2 spots. And who's going to clean it? I'm not going to clean it. And how many people can you actually fit? And is it going to cause just more stress? So what a lot of our members do is they buy a $10 membership to any of the 3 gyms right around the corner, and they go use that.
You know what's funny? You literally took the words. I could have said just what you said. When people ask me about a shower, I literally said the same things. Who's going to clean it?
Right.
And then if I have 5, even if I have 3 people, who gets it?
Right. And that's the problem. And I just don't want to. I don't want to deal with. That's not our model. We are not the steam shower, tanning bed. Yeah. So we are a serious strength and conditioning facility. We do what we do really well, but we don't want to provide showers, and we never will. Even if we had the square footage, we wouldn't provide showers. It's just not part of our model.
Good stuff. Let's check out this last room, and then we'll have to sit down and have a chat.
Yeah. So apparel is something that I love to do. I love designing it. I've been designing it since we started, and it's a big revenue stream for us. I actually recently, it's also part of our mission, like what we wear, what we believe we become. So all of our shirts have very empowering things. We actually have a girls line, and I started another business a month ago called Choose Strength Apparel. So this is our store. It's in the works right now.
Yeah, cool.
But we've been shipping apparel out to people. We have an online shop. So this is sort of another branch of
more empowering, even on the package. You're amazing. Love it. Very cool.
Yeah, so this is our little shop. It's also, there's an area for the coaches to get some coffee and just, get away and have a break. Coaching is intense, as you know, and you need a place just to step away and have a moment. So that's what we do back here. It's, like I said, it's in the works, but we added this. It used to be a kettlebell gym. Talk about like a failure. I started a kettlebell program a year and a half ago. We met at our SFG, and we got our SFG together, and we had this program, and it was great. We had probably 150 people in the program, and then we had a bunch of coaching changes. It was pulling me away from our core business, and I had to make that call to step away. And what you put your energy into is what you bring your attention to is what flourishes, right? Yeah. So this was our kettlebell gym. That's why there's pull-up bars on the wall. And it wasn't working, and we had to look at the numbers and say, what makes us more revenue? Like, where is it coming from? It's coming from our apparel, not our kettlebell program. So what we did was we transitioned those people over to FMA Performance. They're now on a customized kettlebell program, and this room became this space. But originally, we knocked down this wall, and we put up a wall to make it a kettlebell gym.
Wow. All
Yeah.
right, cool. Well, let's have a seat. We're gonna sit down and let's talk a little bit of business.
All right.
All right, cool. So let's go over a few of your challenges. What was like the biggest challenge opening? I mean, you went from your boot camps in the park, which is pretty awesome, 2 people, a little bit of equipment. What was the big challenge for you opening?
I didn't know what I was doing. I had never owned a business. I didn't have a vision yet.
Yeah.
I knew I wanted to do things differently and provide a great experience, but we were just like trying to play catch up to this snowball that was happening with our business. And we had this incredible upward trajectory for the first 5 years.
Yeah.
So we were just like, the members were, one day 10 would people show up, and then it was 12, and then it was 16. That's a good problem to have, but also when you don't have the staff to manage it. And I was a one-woman show at the time, and I had 2 little kids. And, that brings a whole nother challenge, but it's trying to do it all when you're opening, because in the beginning, you're everything, right? You're the cleaning crew, you're the marketing guru, you're the business manager, you are the coach, you are everything. And that's super hard, because you have to be good at all these things.
Yep.
There's a lot of competition in this industry, and you kill yourself in the process. And when you love it and you put your heart and soul in it, it's really hard, because you can work all the time.
Yeah, I always love the saying, just because you can cook doesn't mean you should open a restaurant.
Yes.
Right? And I think a lot of trainers, it's the same thing. It's just because you are in good shape and you have a decent little following, there's a billion things that come in, right?
Literally a billion.
Yeah.
And a lot of these things we didn't see for the first 6 years.
Yeah.
So now our business is a lot bigger, and it looks a lot different than it did when we started with 125 members. Now we're 550 members. That looks different. We're a team of 10. There's staffing stuff.
Yeah.
You're now dealing with HR, you're dealing with leadership. So as everything evolves, you have to get better. So you have to become this student and learn, all right, now I'm gonna learn how to do this, and now I'm gonna learn how to do this. Or you're gonna delegate, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna start to hire people.
Yeah.
So that was a huge challenge for me. Also, like I said, the whole managing a family, along with, I birthed a baby and a business in 3 months.
Yeah.
So that's hard. That's hard to do. Both of those things are hard on their own. You put them together, it's like, I can't believe I'm still standing. But it all worked out, and but you learn something new every day in this. And like, the only way to do it is to do it.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna say, I'm good, I'm set, like I don't need to learn anymore, you're gonna fail.
Yeah. Let's stay on the family idea here. Your husband is your business partner, which can be, we talked about this, can be a challenge with being married, for all you young kids out there. Now, he's your business partner, which is good too, because he said, he does a lot of the accounting and the insurance stuff, the stuff that you might not want to do.
Don't want to do.
Perfect. That's always good in a partnership. Now he's got next door as a, it's hard enough running one facility. Now you kind of have 2. How do you kind of manage that whole thing? So
what really worked for us after doing it wrong for about a year is to just draw the line down the middle. And he does everything FMA Performance, and I do everything Tuff Girl.
Good idea.
And so he doesn't get involved with Tuff Girl and his decisions, other than we review budget stuff. What do you need from me? And he programs for FMA. He runs the show over there. He has 1 employee over there that he manages and he works with, and I don't touch it. Same thing with Tuff Girl. I have my team of 7, and I do my own meetings. He does his own meetings. So it works. Marriage is hard enough, and then business ownership is a challenge, and you bring the 2 together, and there's ways to make it work. You're gonna talk to other people who do it as well, but for us, what worked was separating it.
Yeah. Okay, great. Talk to me about marketing. My gym was called 5 Iron Fitness. I wasn't getting basketball players to come. So on one hand, having a niche is amazing. It's easy. Eric Cressy was on episode 2. He was talking about that originally too, was that one of the beautiful things of having a niche was he didn't do much marketing because people knew who he was. Right? And they knew he was, the baseball guy. You're not getting a lot of men. You said you have 90% women, which is fine. What? Talk to me about just having it as Tough Girl and marketing it towards them. What are maybe some of the advantages and challenges of that? Because I love that you, first of all, having a name that tells people what you do is awesome. Plus, you live the part.
Yeah.
I mean, the other day you posted, what was the deadlift? How much was it?
It was 275.
Which is annoying because then I'm like, I gotta make sure I'm above that. So stop doing this. But talk to us about that kind of, that idea about marketing to the woman and how it's changed for you.
So the good part is, like you said, I'm the brand and I am Tough Girl, and that's one of the reasons I think I'm successful, is because I believe in this mission and this vision. It is me, and so I work every day so hard because it's something I'm passionate about. It's like my life's mission is to raise 3 awesome girls, be a good wife, and then empower as many women as I can get my hands on. The problem with a name like Tough Girl is, and I've heard this, I see it on social media all the time, and it breaks my heart, is that Tough Girl's not for me. I'm not a tough girl. But this is why I do what I do. Because most women have no idea what they really are. They are tough. I truly believe that there is a tough girl in every woman, and I want to squeeze it out of her. And this is what I used to do that. But if I can't get them in the door, I can't help them. So now I'm doing a lot of dispelling myths. Like we have intro classes, we have beginner class, we have 101s, Tough 101. And that class is like we had 8 people on Sunday come in, 8 brand new people come in for this 101 because this is scary. The gym is scary. One of the things I wanted to do when I started this is make the gym less scary for people. Make it an approachable, warm, welcoming place where people want to be, not somewhere where you walk in and nobody says hello to you, which is the typical gym environment, right? These beefed up trainers who don't even acknowledge you, that think that they're better than you. That's not how you change people's lives. So the challenge is definitely the name. People don't think that they're that, so that's not for me. And I say, no, there's a tough girl in every one of you, and I want to bring it out. And
you're still getting challenged. I mean, we're seeing things like Girls Gone Strong, right? We're seeing Ben Bruno is training some models. Kate Upton was on the cover of Sports Illustrated, and he's showing her pushing a slide, really heavy sled, dispelling some myths. But it's still out there. You still have a lot of work to do.
There's a lot of work ahead of us, and I just think the more ammo we have behind this, like girls are strong, girls are powerful, we can do it, the better. So we need, thanks for coming out and having me on the show, because we need the more voices, the better. I love seeing a model push a 300-pound sled. That's good for business. That's good for my business. It's good for women.
Absolutely.
To say oh, she's not starving herself. She's not that there's anything wrong with spinning, but she's not jumping on a spin bike every second or doing a 2-hour run. So more women need to strength train because it's good for your body, but also it's good for your self-esteem and your confidence.
Let's finish up with kind of not something you would change, but people out there who watch the show are really trying to open up a gym. What's kind of almost like a little advice or kind of like the biggest surprise that you'd like, well, before you do this, what's kind of something you would give, advice you'd give to somebody, if maybe like something that you did, a mistake that you might have made, you would tell people to be careful of?
The biggest thing for us was not having systems and processes in place. If I could do it again, I mean, it's like hindsight's 2020. Like I would look, where do you want to go? We never knew we'd get to this point, so we didn't have any systems or processes or policies to support that. Now I understand why people they buy into these programs of people that have done it right, because there's this blueprint that you could use that would help you down the line when you do have the membership you're going for. That would make it easier, because change is hard for people, and every time we've had to make a change to support growth, it's hard for our members, and you end up losing some in the process. So when you make a pricing change, or when you make a class time change because you're growing and you have to add more slots, or when you make a class you add more equipment or you change your workout. People don't like change. So, start with the end in mind.
Yes.
That's good advice. I mean, honor where you are, but you got to think ahead. So that's what I do now is like, all right, when I get here, not if I get there, like when I get there.
I love it.
And like I've grown with Tuff Girl. Tuff Girl's 8 years old. I started, if you had told me 8 years ago we would have what we have today, never, I would be like, you're funny.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, what can't I do?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think it's so bittersweet. It's like so sweet to me because I have definitely grown into this role, and you have to get better.
Yeah.
As your business grows, you have to grow with it. And so start with the end in mind and have your processes in place for if you want to have 300 members. What does a 300 member gym look like? How are you going to lay it out? How is your class schedule going to be? How are you going to deal with your employees? How many employees are you going to have? Are you going to have assistants? Are you going to have full-time coaches? Are you going to offer them health insurance? How are you going to pay them? Are you going to have team meetings? How often are those going to meet? So all those things that like these little minutia. Are you going to have apparel? Are you going to have a juice bar? Are you going to have a coffee bar? Lay it out.
Yep.
And then figure out how you get there and what that looks like. And then do that now.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I think people underestimate or they don't do right is they don't value every client. To us, every client is like the most important thing.
Yeah.
And we treat them like gold because they are our business.
Yeah.
Without them, we're nothing.
Yep.
And so we treat our client experience is the first thing to us.
Yeah.
And that in the park, it was an incredible client experience. And here, it's an incredible client experience. We clean our gym 3 times a day. We greet everyone at the door. We know them by name. The workout is secondary to all those things. You can have the best programmer in the world, but if that person is a jerk and nobody wants to be around them and they don't care, you're not going to succeed.
And I can attest, she just had a class in here. How many people were in here? Like 30 people? Right?
20, yeah, there was 20.
20,
about 20,
okay,
yeah.
6:30 in the morning, people coming in. And they were vacuuming, so we had to wait for the vacuuming to stop.
Yeah.
So very cool. And I could tell the community, I love the community that you've built here. It's so awesome. It's why I wanted to have you on first, because we haven't had any women on Strength Coach TV at all. So
I'm honored to be the first, Anthony.
We gotta find more women that are doing this. So, it's so cool to see what you're doing and empowering people and pushing guys like me to lift more weight off the floor. So thanks so much for doing this.
Thank you, Anthony.